Oh, and we are live on the Red Pill News. How are you guys doing in this crazy, mad-capped mayhem type of world that we're in, man? You know, the funny thing is, I sit back and I look at what's going on. Easily predicted. We did it right here a long time ago. What was going to happen, even especially these last few years, and the people who have gone out of control with their hate and anger and all that. Now they have nowhere since Trump is gone. They have nowhere to direct it. Right? It's almost like you need to put like a Trump dummy in every community, and so people can come by and beat them with a stick. You know, to get to kind of get it out of their system. They just can't get it out of their system, and then they're realizing that their own politicians are horrible. You know, so it's like that. And oh man, this is the deal. This is the deal. You will never make everybody happy, not ever. The only thing you could do if you're a politician is represent people, and every decision that you make, you should say to yourself, is this good for the American people? That's all you have to say to yourself. Is this good for the American people? If I'm in the store and I see some fudge, I say, is this good for your waistline? And my answer is maybe. Maybe, maybe, right? But the reality is, people have to be focused on the insignificant to vex and go crazy and be foaming at the mouth, mad dog, hysteric. And I love it. I love seeing that. I think it's pure emotion, man. I'm the kind of photographer that likes to take emotion pictures. You know, it really is capturing someone at their finest, you know, their finest peak of emotional outburst, right? Especially when they start to cry, and if they're ugly when they cry, it makes you laugh, makes me laugh, and then they get even more angry or they cry even harder. I'm like, what are you crying for? Because Britney Spears? I saw someone the other day. She was crying about Britney Spears. I'm like, what are you crying about? She's like, oh, Britney Spears, boo. Like, what about her? And so people all up and down the internet, people are screaming about Britney Spears, right? Who was insignificant. Let's face it, she was a pop star way back when. And when she auditioned for her producers, she went in there in really skimpy outfit with her hair in pigtails, and she sang, what song was it? Something about Jesus, right? 16-year-old girl, like with everything spilling out, and these people, they harnessed that. They took her innocence at that moment. They put her into pop stardom. They put her on their album cover. Look at her first album cover is her sprawled on the ground with that same look. Obviously, these people aren't selling Jesus. You know? I don't know what they are. I don't know what, and even for that, it's none of my business what people do as long as they're not hurting anybody else or anything else. That's kind of the way I see it. Right? Britney Spears, she already became insignificant. She shaved her head bald. She went a little nuts, and then I guess had to go in front of a judge, and they ruled against her that she needed some kind of handler. So this has been what's going on in her life, and now she's trying to fight to get her life back. And I guess it was her father who was handling things, and now there's some agency. So I want to read you a story because it's interesting how the world uses people, and you should be careful what you seek in this world because you might get it, right? So Britney Spears's conservatorship explained. So a conservator or conservatorship is somebody who is appointed by the court who looks over the person who can't be trusted to take care of themselves or anything like that, right? So the legal controversy surrounding Britney Spears is no secret. The pop star has recently fought for changes to her court-appointed conservatorship, which she has controlled It's controlled her career, finances, everything basically in her life since 2008, right? Most notably, she sought the removal of her father, Jamie Spears, from a leading role in the conservatorship. Her father currently serves as co-conservator of the singer's estate alongside an outside financial group, Bessemer Trust. Britney's lawyers have said she would no longer perform as long as her father was in charge. And let me go on. Let's stop there. When you become this pop star, when you become that type, you sign all these contracts, you're no longer yourself. You are represented and also representing. So they're basically, you know what they are? They're owned by Pepsi. They're owned by Coke. It's basically the people that they put forward to sell stuff. It's ads, ad space. It's not music. It's not, she's not writing brilliant tunes that are changing the world. She was just the face of Pepsi for a minute. Same for Michael Jackson. Same for all these other groups. They think that they're cutting edge musicians. They're ad people. They're in advertising. Is what they do, right? All right. So the 39-year-old singer is expected to address the court about her conservatorship, which she actually did, and that already happened, right? Because this article predates that. Her lawyer requested that she be able to speak to the judge, and she did speak to the judge. And I'm actually going to read the part from her father. But I was more wanting to get into what is what is a conservatorship for people, because people are like, how come she can't control herself? So it's legally defined as a court case where a judge appoints an individual or organization called a conservator in care of someone who cannot care for themselves and who cannot manage their own finances, according to Judicial Branch of California. You would think Johnny Depp would have one, right? You would think that dude, talk about somebody who has spent his way into debt. Then he makes a blockbuster movie and pays it back down again. But it's different. And I'll tell you why in a minute. Okay. So the law supports conservatorships when less restrictive options are ruled out, like being locked in the mental institution, like she call it, like she basically lost it, and she's in a fantasy world. So it's hard for those people to keep centered, unless you have something unto yourself, right? It's hard for people to keep centered, you know, uh, and stay focused, keep your eye on the prize, because they already got the prize as far as they're concerned. But I was in the music business for quite some time. I was a journalist for Good Times magazine on Long Island, and always going, reviewing different shows, different stuff. I've talked to so many performers, not just musicians, but all kinds. They're always running, always on the go. They barely even know what the hell town they're in. It's not like being able to take a breath. That takes a huge mental and physical toll on people, especially when they can't maintain decent relationships because they're on the road 10 or 11 months out of the year. And even, if it's holidays or whatever, they're usually performing. They're usually out there. They're the monkey grinder, you know? This is why I laugh when they come out with opinions like the band U2, I mean, they're an okay band. I know that they're popular. I never put much stock. I'm of a different era when it comes to music. I like the music that was 15, 20 years before me, when I was, young and whatever. Or even some of them who were contemporary to me, like AC/DC. Man, I've been an AC/DC fan probably since I was, I think 9 years old. So yeah, 9 years old, man. I used to listen to the radio at night, all night long because I couldn't sleep. And I would listen to stuff like that, Westward One Network and all whatever the hell it was. I would listen to, they'd like showcase these bands, man. And I was heavily into music when I was young. But you meet these musicians and you just realize the pace that they're on. If you don't want that life, you shouldn't do it. You shouldn't do it. do something else, anything else, whatever makes you happy, because the only thing in life that you should be seeking is happiness, not anything else. Or, or yeah, you want to be philosophical, Mr. Buddhist. You want your contentedness. You want to be content. You don't want to get drawn in to, especially other people's, emotional BS and verbal diarrhea that may hit you all the time, right? Who needs it? But Britney lost it. She probably never had it, right? I mean, she kind of went from 16 basically and launching through a business that will devour you, that's not there to help and to love and to care. It's a horrible, bloodthirsty business. If you know the music business or Hollywood too, you know that it's blood that greases the wheels of those businesses. And it's these people who pay, think they're so rich and they're so great and they got all this other stuff, whatever. A lot of them plow through their money. Then they end up with nothing. She did. She was in debt. Her father turned it around for her, and now she's worth like 60 million, which isn't really that much money. All right, it's a lot of money, but it's not that much money. And then when they're dealing with agents, they're dealing with managers and all that. That those pieces of the pie get cut up. She has a huge entourage. When she goes on does a show, there's all those dancers and whatever. They all get paid. They're not there for free. So all that gets figured in. So I mean, really, there are stars out there, people who had gotten immediately famous, who decided they didn't want the life and they walked away. And they went to lead a life of their own, doing something that would make them happy, right? So good for them. Good for them. So in 2008, Jamie Spears, Britney Spears' father, was granted, and I'm going to tell you what's the crappy part of this too, because there's a huge crappy part of this. Jamie Spears was granted the conservatorship after Britney purportedly struggled with mental health issues and was hospitalized. After Britney was released, a Los Angeles court made the conservatorship permanent, giving her father and another conservator power over her finances and medical decisions. So this court felt it important to give that conservatorship for indefinitely to Britney Spears' father and these other people, right? To go over, look at her finances, make sure that, I don't know, she doesn't spend her money on nothing or give it all to that Olstein or whatever, man, preachers, whatever the people do with their money. I know what I do with my money. I don't give it to preachers because I don't have enough. I use it for things that I need, basically. Food, shelter, that type of stuff. Anyway, that's just me. But that's pretty much everybody, basically. So, yeah, she's done some weird stuff with her money, but so did Johnny Depp. Let's say he's in court with everybody right now over his finances, and it's a mess. That's why I thought it was interesting. He was out there talking all that political trash, it's more, and, Amber Heard, the one that he was with and I guess married to for a short time. And, he apparently beat on her and give her black eyes and all that. Nothing ever happened. I never saw him get tanked up for that, So just interesting how things go in Hollywood, right? So now Britney was released, and she was released to her father. Jamie argues that the conservatorship is working under his order. His legal team says Britney's estate has gone from being in debt to having a valuation of more than $60 million. Look at that. In November of 2020, his legal team said Jamie has worked hard to restore Britney to good health, reunite her with her children, and revive her career. So, what's the problem? She was nuts 12 years before, locked into a facility, lost it, right? And then all of a sudden, her father, all this time, has been there helping her. You think he's dipping in, making some money on the side? I don't know. You see, and that's the thing. The bottom line is he's handling her. He's the one, he's representing her, and it's her father, right? He reunited her with her children. He helped her revive her career. He got her into good mental health, good health. So you would think there wouldn't be a problem. So throughout his service as conservator, Mr. Spears' role's motivation, his sole motivation, has been his unconditional love for his daughter and a fierce desire to protect her from those trying to take advantage of her. Jamie's legal team wrote he wants his daughter to be happy, healthy, protected, and thriving. His love for Brittany is a material factor. Is a material factor and is now has been able to turn her estate around from being in the red to what it is now. So she was in debt. Oh, look at the picture over here. Oh my God, she hit the wall. Jeez, man. It happens. Happens to everybody, right? Hell, she's 39 years old, and she should be psyched that she can get out there and perform now and function. It sounds like the guy helped her turn her life around, right? So why does Brittany want her father out? Okay, in August of 2020. The pop star's court-appointed attorney said Brittany strongly opposed her father's position as the sole conservator of her estate and asked the court to limit his control. Her attorney, Samuel D. Ingham III, said, Samuel D. Ingham III, he gets paid. Samuel D. Ingham III said Brittany strongly prefers to have a qualified corporate fiduciary in the role, and she's made several attempts to do so. So she's saying she wants other people to help be her conservator. She doesn't want all the power herself. She wants other people. That's what she said in 2020. Brittany requested that Jamie's temporary replacement, Jody Montgomery, be named for the permanent conservator of her person. Montgomery, a professionally licensed conservator, took over the role in 2019 when Jamie volunteered to step down, citing health reasons. So in 2019, he volunteered to step down, right? And there was a professionally licensed conservator. How do you get that job? That sounds like a good job. It sounds like a paper money pushing job. I like it. All right. He got help. Period. So that's 2019. Last November, a judge granted the singer's wish to appoint an outside financial group, which is Bessemer Trust, as co-conservator. She is still requesting the court to remove her father and allow Bessemer Trust to become the sole conservator of her estate. So she didn't want the father being the sole. Then wanted the other people, even though he had to step down because of his health problems. And now she wants. So there's a thing that goes on in situations like this. And I've dealt with people like this. I've dealt with women like this. You can help someone and turn their lives around, do everything for them. Oh, you could raise their kids too. You could do that. You could do everything for them. You could just make their lives so good. And at some point, sometimes they turn around and look at you like you're the devil and want to destroy you because of what you've done. And there are some people who are miserable, who are used to being miserable, and you can't get them out of the hole that they're in because they don't want to leave it. And they will blame you. They will solely blame you. Even though you're doing so well, you got this going on, whatever. They don't want that. They want to be miserable. They want to be in that. And it's a mental problem. It's something that needs to be helped within people. There's mental issues all throughout the world, man. The United States is having a mental breakdown where we don't have enough help for people. So it's a big issue, right? So now she's still requesting the court to remove her father. Okay, all right. Addressing the court, Ingram reportedly called Brittany a high-functioning conservatee who deserves to know what action her father might be taking over her estate. He also said Brittany is afraid of her father and that she has not spoken to him for a long time. Here's a lawyer, Mr. Ingram III. So all of a sudden, you're putting it out there for people, the judge, anybody else involved. Oh, she's afraid of her father. Now, this is the thing that's going on, especially with a lot of young people who are playing the system, right? I'm afraid. I'm afraid to be around them. They make me afraid. Oh, why are you afraid? They beat you up. They do something. They threaten to kill you. You know, my father did all that to me. Why are you afraid? Oh, because the way he talks to me, he's loud, and the way he is, he just makes me afraid, right? And that she has, and this is the lawyer talking, and she has not spoken to him for a long time. It's interesting listening to a lawyer say for a long time, because they don't ever say for a long time. They have specific dates. She hasn't spoken to him from March 10th, 2019 to April 23rd, 2021. You know what I mean? Like that. So a long time for a lot of people. A long time for a dog is from the time that you leave till the time that you get home. A long time, right? Not saying she's a dog, but yeah. Who knows? I know a lot of border collies that don't need conservatorship, so yeah. In February, the Singers Council said it would be highly detrimental to Britney's interests to allow her father to be the sole person in charge of her estate. So Brennan Crone, who worked on the ACLU disability rights program, said there are certain risks that could come with the appointment, including financial, physical, and emotional abuse. Wow. So Brennan Crone, who works on the ACLU's disability rights program, right, said there are certain risks that could come with the appointment, including financial, physical, and emotional abuse. So, not that these risks are going on, that her father took her estate and turned it around from debt to over $60 million. Obviously, her financial reward was appointing her father, and he solely did this for her. There's no physical abuse from her father to her, and there's no emotional abuse because he's there for his daughter and he wants to see her do well in life. But this is another lawyer throwing a whole bunch of nasty daggers at these people, right, who have definitely tried to help. Okay. Then, here we go. Even when there is no abuse, conservatorships limit a person's ability to advocate for themselves, learn from their decisions and mistakes, and grow and develop. There is a risk in being told that your opinions, your likes and dislikes don't matter. It makes it harder to stand up to abuse or neglect, she said. Okay. All of that is bullcrap, because you're talking about a situation that hasn't happened. And also you're talking about the judge's decision, where that judge in that court decided that this woman, Britney Spears, needed a conservator in her life indefinitely. So it will come down to her testing out of something like that, going in front of a review board, and them saying that she is mentally capable of conducting her own life. Keep in mind, I know people who are completely crazy that can conduct their own life. And yeah, if they were wealthy like this, I'm sure they would have conservatorships and a whole two armful of lawyers, two armfuls running around saying you can't do this or that, or this might happen in May, and it could be, and probably. Really? Meanwhile, these lawyers are like dirtying her father's name and reputation just by suggesting, just by mentioning abuse these days. As soon as you say it, it's in people's minds and it doesn't leave, right? In any conservatorship, we would want to know what the real risks are and benefits of both conservatorship and its alternatives. Of course, here's a picture of Britney on stage with a little hair up, long time ago, performing. What has Britney said about the case? Well, Britney has remained tight-lipped throughout the legal battle, speaking only through her legal team and making subtle comments over the years. So one, she can speak She could go on MTV right now and talk. She could do all kinds of stuff because the only conservatorship really affects her medical decisions and also her money. But she could do all kinds of stuff, right? No, she's surrounded by these lawyers. They've got a hold of her. She's mentally fragile, and now these people have a hold of her, right? The Times, the Times seriously played a clip series. Seriously, played a clip from the MTV documentary Britney for the Record, where Britney spoke about the limits of her personal freedom. It's unclear if she was speaking directly to the conservatorship. So again, it's unclear if she was speaking directly to the conservatorship. So you're trying to steer someone's words and the things they're saying, the meanings behind those words, and reading into stuff that's not there. This is lawyer ball, right? If I wasn't under the restraints that I'm under right now, with all the lawyers and doctors and people analyzing me every day and all that kind of stuff, if that wasn't there, I'd feel so liberated and free and feel like myself. I'm kind of stuck in this place, and it's like, how do you deal? I just cope with it every day, she told the interviewer. When I tell them the way I feel, it's like they hear me, but they're really not listening. They're hearing what they want to hear. They're not listening to what I'm telling them. It's bad. I'm sad. This is what she said, right? So let's go through the list. She said, with the restraints that she's under right now, with all the lawyers, the doctors, and the people analyzing her every day, I don't see her father listed anywhere in there. Not anywhere. And by the way, this woman with her problem and her mental problems, she needs all these people to be analyzing her. They pay attention to her. They are making a big fuss over her. Her career has waned down to the point where she doesn't have that anymore. She basically lost it when her career was done. Probably because nobody cared about it. There's no paparazzi trying to knock down doors. Or maybe if you're locked up in an insane asylum, some paparazzi wants to see you in your straitjacket or something, right? Because that's how low society is. You ever watch television? You ever look at the court shows and all the crap that's on there? These people like to put people's lowest moments out there. Not moments of triumph, not moments of dignity, but the lowest when they're at their lowest. And this is what other people fiend on when they get into those shows. It's really very, very, very primitive and doesn't have a place in a kind person's heart. Just leave that there. This girl's tired of being controlled by all the lawyers. Doesn't sound like that's her father. He's the conservator. He's not the one sending all the lawyers at her. And now she has other lawyers who are talking crap to her, and it sounds like she doesn't even know what the hell is going on, which is why the judge appointed a conservator to begin with. So when I asked in her life if her life was out of control, she disagreed and said it's too in control. There's no excitement, no passion, like it's Groundhog's Day every day. Welcome to the world, baby. Welcome to the world. Sounds like she's the girl in the plastic bubble, and she needs to break free. Break free. So she would need to go to the judge who initially ordered, or another judge, some kind of appeals court, and prove that she's mentally with it, that she doesn't need any of these people. But she herself says that she does. That's why she wanted other people. She didn't say, all right, I want them all out. I want control of my life, and you're all fired. I'm going to do what I want to do. She didn't do that. She didn't say that. She's saying, no, I need more. I need different people. I need more people on the case, not just my father, right? But, all right. In February, Britney tweeted a video of her performing her song Toxic, which is a long time ago, right? She was famous for that song a long time ago. I remember the video. She was like a little stewardess, man, flight attendant with a little booty hanging out, shaking her booty. I don't remember the song. I remember her booty from the video because that's what she was selling. for Pepsi or Coke or whatever else she was selling for. So she tweeted a video of her performing her song Toxic along with a message. I'll always love being on stage, but I'm taking the time to learn to be a normal person. I love simply enjoying the basics of everyday life. Right there, it tells you that she's had enough, that she needed a break. Doesn't mean you need a conservator, but it means you need a break. But she, like a lot of Hollywood people when they're young and music business people, they have no identity. They don't know how to define themselves. They don't know who they are or what they are. That's the problem, and a conservator can sure look over your money, look over your medical decisions, but it's more important that you yourself connect with the universe and that you find things that make you happy. And yeah, being on stage is great. I've been there too, not on that level, but I've been there. And it comes down to, yeah, if you have to run that pace, and especially when you're not really running the pace for yourself, you realize that you are now the property of the studio, or the record company or whoever owns you. You're the property of them. You sign those contracts. They're binding agreements. They're contracts. These musicians, man, I mean, damn, years ago, a lot of them used to get ripped off like you wouldn't believe, especially Motown. Barry Gordy, he ripped off all those guys, all those dudes. You know, sad. You know, sad that a lot of those musicians who created so much of music that I love like died penniless, because of the greed, man. And you have to follow the money, and you have to know exactly. I hear what Dave Chappelle's out there crying about the same thing, but he had control over what he was doing, but he lost control because he felt like he didn't have control, but he really did. He did. Oprah took him to school over it on her show, you know, and put him in his place. And she was right then, she's right now. That you need to be in control of your own life. You don't let people tell you, you tell them, right? So, in a separate tweet, because she's still tweeting. She wants it, and she knows that she's not going to go out to the same fame that she had. She will never, ever, never have that fame. Not for what she's doing. What's got? Look at Paris Hilton, right? I love Paris Hilton. Love her. If she asked me to marry her, I'd say yes right now. That's how much I love Paris. That's how much I love Paris Hilton. And it would be win-win. But she's like this famous DJ now, right? And she goes out and she makes a fortune from doing this DJ stuff. She wasn't known for that. She wasn't known for music. She was known for being the bratty chick from the Hilton family, right? And she went out there and she did something for herself. She did something for herself. And she enjoys doing it, right? So that's the reality. If you like to perform, Britney Spears, you can do it in a lot of different ways, and you could also help people, man. You know what? Local productions, whatever, or young people trying to get into the music business, you can school them on what not to do. Don't make the mistakes I made, type of thing, right? All right. So in a separate tweet, she wrote, each person has their own story and their take on each other people's stories. We all have so many different, bright, beautiful lives. Remember, no matter what we think we know about a person's life, it is nothing compared to the actual person living behind the lens. You see, man, and I love that. She doesn't sound like a crazy nut to me, although I'm attracted to crazy women. But yeah, I love that. I love that fact because she's right. And I'll take it even further. Who cares what people think? Because they're not living in your skin. And that's kind of what she said, but I said it better. When people judge you, especially unfairly, or criticize you, and they don't know you, and they don't know the things you do, the life you lead. These aren't close family members, even close family members. Who knows who can make the right decisions in the world all the time? Nobody. You make your own decisions. You make your own decisions and you live with those decisions. It's that simple. So, all right. Her boyfriend Sam Asghari. Sam Asghari also criticized the singer's father on Instagram. Ooh, they're ganging up on him Instagram. Now it's important for people to understand that I have zero respect for someone trying to control our relationship and constantly throwing obstacles our way. In my opinion, Jamie is a total dick. Nice. Nice boyfriend you got there. And she loves that because, she's all mad in that direction at the father. And now she's got this guy who's obviously a total douche who is just, and made it all about himself. Let's examine what he said. Now it's important for people to understand that I have zero respect for someone trying to control our relationship and constantly throwing obstacles our way. In my opinion, Jamie is a total dick. So yeah, you have zero respect for the guy. Who cares? What difference does it make what you respect, what you don't respect? You're a douche. Makes no difference. Zero, zilch, nothing. No difference that you respect someone or not. Make it all about himself. I'm so important that you have to have my respect. Let me tell you, man, you either like me, you don't like me. I don't care. I don't care. I'm living my own life. I'm surviving every day. I know when I got to wake up. I got to go out there and catch that gazelle so I can eat, and then I can go to sleep. And I got to do that every day because I eat a lot of gazelles. It's a lion pun, right? From Tremors, the movie Tremors, man. Tremors, what was that? Tremors, what was that? One that went to Africa. Tremors 5? Tremors 5. I love all the Tremors movies, by the way. All of them. So, and then here's this guy trying to control our relationship and constantly throwing obstacles our way. How about the guy could have said, I'm very concerned about Brittany being free. She's this, she's that, whatever. He could have said anything about her, but he directed it towards himself, us. That's what that's what narcissists do. They include themselves with other people to try to strengthen their alliance, or whatever they're fighting, right? And this guy's 27 years old and calling the father a dick. He's a total dick, right? After he turned her life around and was there for her and he loves her and he cares about her. The 27-year-old added, I won't be going into details because I've always respected our privacy. I won't be going into the details because I've always respected our privacy. But here he is making these statements to the world. He's respecting his privacy. But at the same time, there's this big but. I didn't come into this country not to be able to express my opinions and freedom. Oh, God, where the hell is he from? I got to look this up. Into this country. I didn't come into this country to have all of a sudden he's, let me see. He's a personal trainer. There you go. There you go. So basically his brains and his penis and balls. Let me see. Origin. I can't stop laughing. There's a picture of him up. It's very funny. All right. Oh, he's born in Iran. Who cares what he respects? Does that mean? He came from Iran, and he's like, dating Britney Spears, for God's sakes. Talk about the American dream, and talking crap about her father, calling him a dick. That's no positive attitude, dude. How about respect the place you come to? Respect it, man. And respect the girl. It's the girl's father. Even if she's fighting with him, you can't get in between family. You can't do it. You don't take sides. You play Switzerland is neutral, right? This guy spent his life chanting death to America. And here he is with Britney Spears. I gotta go back. I gotta see. It says, I want to see what his worth is, man. You gotta love the internet. You just do. He's estimated worth $1 million. So how do you think that he's gotten that money, that $1 million? Do you think Here's a picture of him. Good looking dude. Look at his little face. No, he does look. He looks like a dick. just to say. How long you think he's 27? She's 39. You know why he's there. He's not all in love with Britney Spears. She's showing her age. She looks like a 39-year-old mom type. You know, Mr. Sincere, right? You know it. You know it. It happens all the time. Okay. Brittany has accused her family of living off her throughout her 13-year relationship. There's the boyfriend, his net worth. So basically, he got it from being her trainer. There you go. That's his. He's her personal trainer and boyfriend. He's a fitness guru, and he's the owner and founder of Ascari Fitness, a member-only program that provides clients with personalized diet and workout plans, like Weight Watchers. Right? Wow. So whatever, we know what this guy is all about, and he's not credible to her. I mean, but he's definitely not someone looking to get goals for her mental health. Sounds like he's adding to it and just using her. You know, the ones who will scream, look at these people. So like these people now are like free Britney. There's like this movement going on because they have nothing else to do because Trump is gone. So they're like, free Britney. This is the next thing, you know. It's the next roadside attraction that you drive up to. Many of Britney's fans have staged protests outside the court, yada, yada, yada. All right, so that's not, where's the other one? Okay. This is the deal. This is current and what's going on right now today. All right. Britney Spears' father is calling the court to investigate allegations the singer made when she testified last week on her ongoing conservatorship. According to court documents filed Tuesday, the filings come after Spears made a number of concerning claims during her hearing, including that she was forced to take drugs after refusing to perform and that she has been prevented from removing a birth control device. Jamie Spears noted that he has not been in control of his daughter's medical care or personal affairs for nearly 2 years and urged that the court investigate serious allegations regarding forced labor, forced medical treatment and therapy, improper medical care, and limitations on personal rights. You see, that's the deal. She's going to go and say, oh, I felt abused and they did this and they did that and whatever. But when it comes down to real terms, these are our allegations, felonious allegations against Jamie Spears, right? Given the nature of allegations and claims, it is critical that the court confirm whether or not Mrs. Spears' testimony was accurate in order to determine what corrective actions, if any, need to be taken. His filing said. He also requested for an evidentiary hearing to give all parties a full and fair opportunity to respond to the claims against, right? So this has moved on into the world beyond her little, I feel like I'm a victim and this is what's done to me and oh my God, I can't believe it, right? And she's just trying to dirty her father's name and using these lawyers to do it. And he's demanding the court to investigate because if she's on the stand lying, well, that's a whole nother can of worms, isn't it? Whole nother can of worms. So you know what it comes down to? It's hard to help people, right? Even if it's your daughter, even if it's your son, if they're that far gone, sometimes you need just to take that step back and keep the relationship strong, but let other people take control because they're going to blame whoever takes control. They're going to blame that person. That's part of the mental illness, So look at this, right? Another story is kind of funny. Michael Strahan's ex-wife arrested for allegedly harassing her former girlfriend. So, all right. Michael Strahan's ex-wife was arrested for allegedly harassing her former girlfriend in Manhattan, according to police and reports. Jean Strahan allegedly appeared at the Upper West Side home of Marianne Iyer around 7 p.m. Friday, even though Iyer she has an order of protection requiring Jean to stay away. Jean, 56, was charged with criminal contempt for allegedly breaking the order of protection. Ayer, 57 years old, has accused Jean of grand larceny, disorderly conduct, harassment, and forcible touching. And that cited court documents that they filed earlier this month. Ayer also alleged that Jean threatened her with a plastic gun and kicked her German Shepherd. Animal abuse. Yeah, that shows you right there what people are made of. When people are willing to hurt an animal, that's it. A lawyer for Jean Strahan did not immediately return the message. Jean Strahan is the football star's second wife. They divorced in 2006 and recently settled claims. Michael, 49, made that alleging that Jean had abused their 16-year-old twin daughters. But why wasn't she locked up? Again, you have a story where a woman was able to get away with something because she's a woman. Because they do to men for that stuff. They harangue you, and it's just interesting how this society has flipped the switch, but it's not willing to be equal justice. Not willing to be just for equal justice, right? So I don't know. I guess we're gonna end the show in a minute, but I like the whole Ben Affleck and Jennifer Lopez, like they're kissing at dinner and all that. It's funny how people run back to exes sometimes. I don't. Yeah, I like to think that it's like when the atomic bomb goes off, man, there's just going to be radiation there for a long time. You don't want to go back. You just don't want to go back. But this is interesting. We got a few more minutes, and this is another thing when it comes to women versus men. Like Gwyneth Paltrow has her vagina candle, right? And she's selling them online, and then one burned down this woman's home in England, basically, which was fun to talk about. But if there was if you had that Ben Affleck penis candle, it would never go in society. You would have people saying, "Oh, I feel sexually harassed just by looking at it." Oh, exactly. So it's not a two-way street. And women are able to get away with a lot of stuff these days. But is it helping? Is it helping relationships with them and men, or them and other women? Apparently that last one liked to beat the other woman up, and she should have been locked up a long time ago. She's in her mid-50s. I'll bet you she's been doing that since she was a teenager, and treating people poorly and being violent with them. What about you're abusing your twin daughters? How come she wasn't investigated? Because they're famous? Because they have money? Right. It really comes down to that, much of the time. If it was the guy, if a football player was abusing his twin daughters, you bet your ass you'd hear about it. You bet your ass he would be in court and he would be locked up. Jada Pinkett Smith, Will Smith's wife. Will Smith, who said he wanted to be so famous that he would marry someone who would never cheat on him, which is really sad mentally because, one, he is famous like that, and two, she did cheat on him. So it just goes to show you about people, right? This is Jada Pinkett Smith tries vaginal steaming on Red Table Talk, and this is why experts don't recommend it. Every few years, the ancient practice of vaginal steaming gets the celebrity treatment. The glorification began in 2015 when wellness guru, guess who? Gwyneth Paltrow extolled the benefits of V-steam. I like it too. That's how I froth my milk for my cappuccino, man. telling Goop.com readers, Goop.com, of course, is Gwyneth Paltrow's thing, you sit on what is essentially a mini throne, and a combination of infrared and mugwort steam cleanses your uterus. 3 years later, Chrissy Teigen shared a photo of her mid-V steaming on Instagram, quipping, I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm having a hard time with this. I don't know if any of this works, but it can't hurt, right? Well, what are you doing right now, Chris? Hold on, I'm steaming my vagina. You're doing what? I'm making steamed dumplings. Shut up. Shut up. So, all right. This week, the three hosts of Red Table Talk, Jada Pinkett Smith, Willow Smith, and Adrian Banfield Norris, took the practice for a spin, or more accurately, a squat. In the episode, which aired Wednesday, all three women can be seen lowering themselves onto a bowl of steam while wearing silk purple dresses. They look like Tinky Winky at Teletubby. What sensation are you guys getting? What sensation are you guys getting sitting there? Jada asked her daughter and mom. Definitely a lot of warmth. Do you think? Steam? Warm? Willow replied. Yeah, this is a real queen throne action right here. This is what I love, Jada added. So let me stop right there. What if it was Ben Affleck and Ving Rhames, right? He's pretty cool. And who else? Bruce Willis, right? Ben Affleck, Ving Rhames, and Bruce Willis. You take those three guys and you steam their balls live on the air. I mean, veggie steam, a ball steam, steaming balls. I get it. You think it's bad for your balls to steam your balls? I don't think so. But if those three guys went on TV, or any three guys went on TV and steamed their balls, oh my God, would people go? They would lose it completely. These guys are steaming their balls on TV, and I can't unsee this. Ving Rhames, like, yeah, my balls are really steamy right now. How you doing, Bruce? Yeah, my balls really steamy too. It feels pretty good. How about you, Ben? I've steamed my balls before, so I get it. That's what I use my cappuccino machine for. That steam function. The women discussed the need for women to spend more time connecting with their own bodies. This is lovely, said Jada. They say that there's a lot of health benefits, but for me, I just feel like spending time with your vagina like that. She likes to spend. For me, I just like spending time with your vagina in a way like that. She just like look at it, talk to her vagina. Hello, vagina. How you doing today? Put a little mirror down there so you see him. Hey, how you doing? You want some coffee? I don't know. So like, she continues, like, just to show appreciation and care. I'm steaming you. You better appreciate it, vagina. They also touch on how vaginal steaming, which Harvard defines as when a woman sits over a bowl of steaming herb-infused water, is technically an ancient practice that originated in Asia and Africa, and that it was originally used to cleanse yourself after you finish menstruating, right? All right. Anyway, all I'm thinking about is steamed clams right now, and I'm sorry. I've got these crazy images in my head of steaming balls. But you can see that the two-way street ends right there. Guys aren't good, or even you're not even able to discuss your private parts anymore on TV. They used to be, but anymore, without sexually harassing, because that's the new term now. I feel sexually harassed. You're sexually harassing me. There's a woman who said that she called the police because a guy asked her out on a date. and she called the police. She called 911 saying he sexually harassed her. Imagine being that guy having to talk to the goddamn cop and say, "Well, I asked her out, blah 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 blah." So yeah, go ahead and alienate every dude out there on the street, so they don't want to say hello to anything. And you got your steaming vulva, steaming vulva. That should be Volvo's next leading car, steaming. It runs on steam. Runs on steam, eh? Take it for a drive around, Sweden. The steaming vulva. Yeah, man. How many vulvas do you get per mile? How much steam per mile? That's kilometer. Eh? Anyway, I know. I'm leaving you. Goodbye. That's it. I will see you guys next week on the show. Of course, this is the Red Pill News. Michael Angley, United Public Radio Network, going strong. UPRNTalkRadio.com, 107.5 New Orleans, 104.7 in Paris, Christian. I will see you steamingly next week on this here show. Bye.
There you go. I was letting you sign off. You good, baby?